Hi everybody, my name's Olivia and I am a licensed wildlife rehabilitator with the state of Virginia. I work with A.E.R.O, which is Animal Education and Rescue Organization. I specialize in small mammals and reptiles, and this time of year I'm getting tons and tons of phone calls about baby squirrels that people are finding. You know, they're not sure if they're orphans, they're not sure if they have a mom around, they're not sure if they're injured, but we want to figure out how to help. So instead of taking 500 more calls like this, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to point you guys in the direction of the video and say, watch this, try to reunite, and when that doesn't work, that's when you give us a call back. So to start with, I have a little volunteer here who is a squirrel. It is a baby squirrel. He's not a baby, but he's young enough that he shouldn't be without mom. We will name him Georgie for now. You can see his eyes aren't quite open yet. They're starting to open. Actually, this one is open. I think he just opened them today. Say hello. These guys can range from about 20 grams, completely pink, no fur, eyes closed, ears fused to the side of their heads, to something a little bit bushier than this with the tail, walking around, running up to you. And all of those guys do need help still. They stay with their mom for quite some time drinking milk, and we want to make sure that they have the full amount of time with mom and that they're reunited properly or put into rehab so that they can grow up to a ripe old squirrel age. So let me put little Georgie away here in his little box. There you go. And I will get started explaining what to do. So you were outside. Let's use this one as an example. You were going on a hike and you found Georgie on your property. He was all by himself, eyes are closed. You know he's too young to be without mom. What do? This is pretty straightforward. Any guys that you can look at and you can say, you cannot survive on your own, you should not be out here by yourself, then we could try and reunite. So what I typically tell people to do is get a box. First things first, get a box. Gloves are always appreciated with any wildlife, so remember that. Get a box and label it. Wildlife rehabber has been called. I'm trying to reunite with mom. Please don't touch. Something along these lines. Every state has a list broken down by county of where your rehabbers are, who they are, and a phone number to reach them at. I suggest before you really do too much else, you call them and say, I'm trying to reunite with mom. If this doesn't work, can you help? Always listen to those rehabbers too, because they specialize in their areas. So, you know, Virginia has a lot of different species and situations that you might not have over in California. So make sure that you're reaching out to somebody local as well and keeping them in the loop of what you're doing. But they'll probably tell you the same thing. Get a box, label it. Make sure you label that rehab has been contacted, because a lot of people will say, well, this person doesn't know what they're doing. They're leaving this baby out in the cold and blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about that. Just label it. Then what we're going to do, because these guys can't keep their own heat up by themselves, we're going to give them a substitute heat source. What I mostly recommend, because it's the easiest, is a little rice sock. Hand warmers work really well as well. What I don't recommend is the plastic glove filled with water that you tie, or anything that could pop and cover the baby in water. That sounds like common sense, but we do get it a lot. Heat pads are great, but they're not usually portable. You can't plug them in. So if you have one that's, you know, battery operated or something like that, that'd be fantastic too. You don't want the entire box to be heated on the bottom, just half of it on a low heat, so that baby could climb onto the heat and they can climb off of the heat in case they get too cold or too hot. As for rice socks, this is something that most everybody has sitting around the house. I'm going to teach you how to make a rice sock, okay? Bear with me. This is a question I get a lot. Find a sock you do not love. This one is very cute, but I cannot find its mate. I take a cup, I put the sock in the cup. There we go. I just put it around here so it's stable. This is rice. I don't care what kind of rice you use. Whatever you have around. Rice, long grain, jasmine rice, white rice, I don't care. Maybe somebody else has a different opinion on that, but I've found that they all kind of work. You have rice, you have sock. You now combine the two. Do your best not to spill it, which is why I put it in the cup. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This didn't go as smoothly as I planned. But we're going to lift up the sides and pull it out. You guys have a sock full of rice. Yeah, you did it. Tie a knot. Wow. Congratulations. You made a heat source. Now, you're gonna take this little bean bag full of rice, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna be warmer, but is it warm enough to keep a baby warm? Is it so hot that it's burning your hand? Gauge it. If it's not hot enough, put it in for another 30 seconds and then another 30 seconds until you really get nice and warm. Rice will give off steam, so it'll be a moist kind of heat. Do not put this right on the baby's arm. It will burn them. What you wanna do is then wrap it in something like a cloth and put it into the box right in the side. So again, the baby could climb to it or away from it. We don't want to force the heat. If any of you have ever had a steam burn before, it hurts. It hurts really bad. Any kind of burn hurts. We don't want to cook the babies. So now you have the perfect little setup to go reunite with mom. So we'll go practice that now. Good. Okay. So we are now back to the tree where we found the baby. We'll assume it's this tree. And we have our little box. It's nice and warm. That rice sock I just made took about 45 minutes to warm up to the temperature I wanted. It's not burning, it's nice and comfortable. Now we're gonna take this box and put it into the tree in a place that is secure and stable. If it is so far up that you cannot reach it, put it at the base of the tree, that's totally fine. And then we put the baby in. Now, I'm gonna put him right in here. And he has a chance here, if you wanna zoom in, we can see. He's just gonna burrow right in there. It's nice and warm. He's nice and comfy. He's in no immediate danger. The world is good. And now, because he's so comfortable and warm, he's not gonna cry. What we need is for him to cry so mom can hear and go, uh-oh, I'm missing a baby. I gotta go get him. So what I'm gonna put in the clip at the bottom is another link to a squirrel crying. It's the sound of a baby squirrel. It's a YouTube clip. And what I do is I play it all the way on high, and you can put it on repeat next to the floor. Whatever you want to do, you can play it from speakers. That works out really well too. But you need to go away. If I'm standing right here next to this little baby and mom's over there, she's not going to come over here and get this baby. She thinks I'm a monster. She's going to try and stay away from me and just, you know, have another litter of babies next year. So what we want to do is give her space and make sure that we play that volume all the way up so that mom can hear the babies and come get them. It's really cute to watch mom come over. She'll pick them up and drag them back up into the nest. Sometimes mom has a little trouble with this. Sometimes mom won't come back. Those are when we need to get the rehabber back involved and troubleshoot. Some things that you'll run into when troubleshooting, if it's raining out, you can put a little tarp over, but mom will still come back in the rain. Remember, these moms are hardwired. They're mammals. They were pregnant and then gave birth, and they will not give up on these babies easily. So make sure that you're trying to reunite before just taking them in. The other thing that we want to think about is not keeping them as pets. We don't want a lot of people handling them. We don't want them to be acclimated to humans. No feeding, nothing like that. Sometimes feeding causes more harm than good with these babies. We want to avoid all of that. Right now, all you want to do is keep them warm and protected. Try and reunite. Now, if you're noticing things like fly eggs or fleas and stuff like that, call that rehabber back, get them involved again, really important. And just give them time. Give them a couple of hours sometimes even to have mom come back and get them. At the end of the day, if mom doesn't come back, you grab your baby, you call your rehabber, and you get them into rehab. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put Georgie back. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you have questions, please reach out. I love getting questions that I haven't heard from before. Trying to address them. We'll do some more videos and upload different animals and different ways to reunite. So just keep us posted. I hope you guys learned something. Have a good day.